So, as you go inside, guys, there are more costumed characters inside the building, but they are there to make sure that you don't damage any of the objects, but they also know a lot about every room that they're stationed in, so you can ask them questions about the different rooms. It's quite small and cramped inside, so you'll have to go through in single file in places. And I will be outside near the benches where the character actors are that will recite Shakespeare. So if you have any other questions that occur to you when you're inside the house, you can find me out there before you start your free time in Stratford. So don't panic, you're going to see me again before you're sort of let loose, but I'm going to get you in here now because there might be another school group coming along in a second, and it's much nicer to have it to yourself. Some of these trees, by the way, this one behind you is a quince tree. They're not looking their best at this time of year. You can see the fruit still on the branches there. And this one on my left here, this is a mulberry tree. But these are the kind of plants that Shakespeare would have expected to see. And also, of course, rosemary here. And you've got lavender back there. They're all the kind of plants that would have been in the garden. You've also got lots of roses. They wouldn't really have been here. Roses started to get popular towards the end of Elizabeth's reign, but it was something that aristocrats would have had in their gardens. John Shakespeare might have pulled the family up by their bootstraps a lot, but they weren't aristocrats. They were just very rich by the time William was finished. I'm going to let you guys go in and start exploring, yes? Does anyone have any questions before you go in? Or are you raring to go?
Ready to go. Yeah.
Ready to go? Go ahead, guys, and I'll see you at the exits, yes? Okay.
Dining hall, the workshop where his father John made leather gloves, and then the family bedrooms upstairs. This part of the house, an extension to the property, built a little bit later. We think William started his married life here. At 18 he has to marry Anne Hathaway. She's expecting a baby. And to come back and live in this part of the house is perfect for a young married couple. It's away from the busy main part of the house. Okay? You enjoy your visit. You can take photographs but no flash.
Okay.
Family bedroom. It starts in there that the girls with the
That's where it was born.
Then we were Protestants, then we were Catholic, then we were Protestants again. So, you know, with a new king, a new queen comes along, they say, now we're Catholic, now we're Protestants. So it was very difficult for a lot of people in England at the time. So Catholics were persecuted and Protestants were, you know, it was bad. Whichever side you were on, you went through a bad bit. But Mary Tudor married Philip of Spain, so that she was a Catholic, obviously. So that was when England went Catholic then.
For the new English generation, this is not very tall.
No. But sometimes, this is quite a nice house, sometimes even lower than this, sometimes in poor houses, much lower. Yeah.
Ventilation.
Shakespeare would come along and buy the sheepskins within the market here. And that's actually how he got in trouble with the law, because they bought the house and then they started having kids.
Hay unos arroz caseros de 10 kilogramos con una tienda de 20.
And then in the 1570s, John, who was actually quite an important person in the town at this point, he was an alderman, which is like the mayor. So he really did really well. But then he got into trouble. He was arrested for illegally trading wool. It's thought that what he was actually doing was buying sheepskins and starting to produce just mud. Buying sheepskins and we'll let you side out beside the focus and but he was buying sheepskins and starting to prepare them to tan them himself to make the leather for the gloves. Yeah. But that process can be very long, sometimes as much as a year, from sheepskin to leather, depending on the finish that you're having. And so, they think that he was taking the wool from the skin to the vine and setting that aside, because the skins, while they're being prepared, represent a large amount of capitals tied up. I just want to show you this, guys. Okay. Because this is Shreve's Walk, that original Tudor plot that I mentioned to you. So this floor, these stones were laid about 400 years ago plus. So watch your step. I'm covered now. Yes, he was very rich, and he did go to prison, so perhaps he paid a fine, bribed someone, so he didn't have to go to prison. They're not entirely sure, but he did lose his public office of being alderman, that's true. But he was also arrested for another crime as well. If you've got your photos here, guys, we're going to keep going, yes? Yeah? He was also arrested for the crime of usury, which, if you read or he was charging interest with, which was illegal. So it was kind of a disaster, even more so than the charges, because part of the punishment for that happening was that the original loan amount was forfeit. And it's thought if the amount he lost was equivalent to about £250,000 in today's and at the same time using but if you want to keep the boat, park it in one place, then you have to pay rent for a mooring, and then you also have to start paying council tax and rates that you generally do. Yeah, exactly. So that's the way you can skip all of those other costs. I know, like loads of actors and artists actually choose to do it as well. And also, like, community. You can imagine that they have no electricity, wood burning stove inside, and they have
we are pharmacy has electricity.
But the electricity comes with the mooring. So if you pay rent for the mooring, then you plug the boat in to the electricity. Otherwise, it's burning fire for the heat, and you have a small petrol generator to power the electric lights on the switch. That's it. Yeah. realise we don't have food, then they're going to turn. Hello. Oh, the babies are so cute. They're still squeaking. No one tends to know about the Guild of Tailors, but everyone in English will know that you can't interfere or hurt a swan because it's treason, because they belong to the Queen. But in actual fact, it's like it's a medieval period thing. They belonged to the royal family, the monarchy, since about the 1400s. But it's not for sentimental reasons. It's actually because, like I said, they're related to geese and they taste really good. So the people were poaching them a lot, and so they made it a crime for anyone to poach or hunt the swans. So that basically the Crown and the Guild of Tailors were the only people who could have swan to eat. No, quite frankly, we're more endangered. They're absolutely fine now, yeah.
What? Scared, right? Dog lah, you think it's stupid.
No, I'm not stupid.
To go lah.
See,
Must pay, you know.
must be.
You wanna go? Come, let's go.
I'm going south right now. Yeah. And that's all. I'm going north, south. It's going to be such a treat down there. I got one high five. I need to make one see yous again. I tried to do it. I need to make one see yous again. Hello. I got two high fives out of the whole class. I got six. I got zero. I got two. No, we don't.
Right, keep going, keep going. Yeah, that's true. Come on. Come on. Hey, you've got. Whee! Yeah. Pretty much. I did the full ride home, but. And the official area is about 1,000 square miles. So we're still just outside the official Cotswolds, but this looks exactly as the rest of the Cotswolds does. And so the Treddington Church that I'm taking you to visit is technically just outside the Cotswolds. But it is worth stopping there. We'll stop and we'll go straight inside the church. I'll tell you a little bit about the history of the church and then we'll get back on the coach, okay guys? And that is the church spire, so please be ready to jump straight off and we'll go into the church. We're going to do this in about 10